Do you have 1,000 things you want to get done this week, but none of them actually have to get done today? Do you find yourself making plans and not actually sticking to them? Or not able to even make a plan? Maybe you feel trapped between wanting structure and wanting flexibility. Those two are really hard to balance. This is exactly how I felt when I started working for myself in 2010. And even with all the expertise that comes with working in the productivity field, this was my #1 problem for years. But I can honestly say now that I have overcome the challenge of turning like a week's super long to-do list into action. The system I developed for planning my week, I call flexible scheduling, and I built a whole to-do list app around it. But this video is not specific to any tools. It is the system, the method for planning your week and for setting meaningful deadlines. Deadlines that you actually keep, and having your structure and your flexibility like the best of both worlds. Hi, my name's Kate, and welcome to my channel where I talk about productivity and organization. Let's jump into how to plan your week. Okay, so step 1 is more of a don't. Don't just start scheduling things. I said already that we're not going to be tool specific, but just a calendar is not going to cut it. A calendar forces you to schedule everything immediately for a specific time. And so you end up with a lot of meaningless, random deadlines that kind of make your real meaningful ones seem less meaningful because it's all just bunched up around things that actually have to be done at a time, things that don't have to be done at a specific time. Calendars are super tools, but just a calendar is not going to cut it. Okay, so next step, something you actually do is you're going to make that list. Make that big list of everything you have to get done this week. Okay, and next step, you're going to cut it down. You are looking at your week. Can you get all that done in 1 week? We all want to get more done than we really can. That's normal. But you want to consciously decide what doesn't get done rather than it just not getting done, even though you had all the best intentions of it getting done. So if you're looking at a piece of paper that has, or whatever you use to have that big list of all your tasks, that just has more than you could possibly ever get done, pick the things now that you know are not going to get done. Okay, now that you have a somewhat reasonable list for this week, go through it and find the things that do actually have to get done at specific times. Things like appointments or meetings, things you're doing with other people, anything that for whatever reason, it really does have an exact time that you need to do it. Okay, so you have moved those tasks from your big week list into your schedule, whatever that is. If it's your calendar, if you have a paper planner, if you use my app, Simply Goals and Tasks, super. And now, we're starting to work our way through that big list. So you've gotten all the things that really have to be done at specific times, moved into those times. Next, let's look for the things that really should be done on specific times, okay? Now what's left on the list is, still a lot of stuff. What is the most important thing, or 2 or 3 things that you really want to make sure get done this week, that if by the end of the week they're not done, you're gonna feel like a failure, or it's just, they're important. They're the most important things. They align with your goals, and these are the tasks you want to get done. Put those as early in the week as you have room at this point. If you started filling in your week already, schedule those early so that if something happens, if something urgent comes up, you can postpone them and still get them done by the end of the week. So really important things, we're putting them in as early in the week as possible. Okay, so now your week is probably starting to look pretty full. So the next step is to cut down your list again, actually. I talked about balancing flexibility and structure. I think, obviously there's a lot of advantages of flexibility, but one of the advantages of structure is that you can really see what you can actually get done. Now that we've added a lot more structure to that list, you could probably have a better idea. If you still have 100 things on that list and your calendar is looking, or your planner, your week is starting to look, the days are looking much more full, now it's becoming a little more obvious, hey, not all this is going to get done. So just like I said before, you need to decide what doesn't get done. Don't let the universe and the chaoticness of day to day decide, or don't force yourself to make that decision about what's a priority every day, multiple times a day. Decide early on, this is not a priority, it's not getting it done, it's more important to me that these other things get done. So go ahead and start a list for next week. Start it now, and yes, or the first time you cut down the list, and start moving those things into next week. Okay, now with what's left on your big week to-do list, kind of sort it by priority. Look at what's most important, and you are gonna put those into your weekly plan or calendar, or whatever you're using, and you're gonna fill, and by fill I mean like a full day, your first 3 days of the week. So if you're in a Monday-based week, that means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and on Wednesday, put a little note or task for yourself to review your week again. Now, a full day is going to mean something different for everybody. This could be just those 2 hours you have, after you get home from the office before you kind of get caught up in your night routine. This could mean all 24 hours of the day. You have to know yourself. You have to know your life and how much time you really have. And you have to keep in mind how much last minute stuff tends to fall in your lap in your own life. And leave some room for that. Leave space in your day for the last minute stuff that always happens to everybody. And this might sound silly, but don't forget the everyday stuff that you still have to do, like, eating or your morning and evening routine. We have to do certain things every day, and you can't just forget about it and fill all 24 hours of your day with tasks. So now we have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like nice full days, but things that we can get done. There's still room for a little bit of last minute tasks and normal day-to-day things. And the Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, there's some tasks in there. Like when we schedule things that have to be done at certain times, we put things in those times. Some tasks that just make sense in those times. There's stuff in the second half of the week right now, but they're not like full at this point. And this is important because new stuff always comes up. And if something really important comes up on Monday, it's much more reasonable to say I'll be able to get to that Thursday rather than I will get to you next Monday. And also remember, we put our really important, really high priority tasks, probably like big tasks, in the beginning of the week. And if they end up taking longer than expected, which we know happens all the time, then you have time in the second half of the week to finish them up. Okay, next step is execute. You now have a list of tasks to do on Monday, pretty full Monday, but every single one of those tasks was put there for a reason. This was not arbitrary, randomly chosen. Every task in there has to be done on Monday. You put it there for a really good reason. Each task, there might not be a deadline, but there might as well be. You can't just do this task on Tuesday because Tuesday is also already full. Now, remember, don't overbook yourself. If you put too much into Monday, it's gonna spill into Tuesday. And then you are definitely not gonna finish everything on Tuesday because you didn't finish Monday when it was, 10 tasks. Now that you've got 15 tasks to do on Tuesday, you're certainly not gonna finish that. And it'll just keep cascading. If you overbook yourself, you might as well not even bother making this plan because it's gonna fall apart. And this is also why we left a little wiggle room later in the week, because as real life happens, we can adjust and keep our plan intact. Okay, now, having a solid plan and sticking to it means you kind of work hard, play hard. If by Monday evening you don't have all your Monday stuff done, that might mean that you cancel your movie night with your honey. That can be hard to do, especially when there's another person involved. You don't want to disappoint them. Of course, this is just like an example, like whatever kind of downtime you normally have in the evening. But on the other hand, on a day when you get all those Monday tasks done, you can really enjoy yourself guilt-free, even knowing you still have 1,000 things to do this week, that you have made a plan and you are on track and you kick today's butt and you totally deserve that relaxing time and you're good. You have your plan and you're on track. So that is how I plan my own week. That is how I kick my own butt into being productive. Even when I'm tired, and I have small kids, so I'm always tired. And even when none of the tasks actually have a deadline, this could be done a week from now. How do I motivate myself to stay up late and finish it tonight? This is how, because there is a deadline, because if I don't do it today, when is it gonna get done? Tomorrow's also full. And having a really solid plan like this is how I know how busy I am and how I know if I can say yes to new opportunities or if I have to say no. And probably one of the biggest benefits of having like a really good plan and knowing I'm on track is it really allows me to be super in the moment when I am having fun. So there's my system for planning out your week. As promised, it's really generic and can fit into whatever planner system you use, with my apps, so the goals and tasks, paper planner, different kind of app, as long as it's not just a calendar. You need to be able to keep it generic in the beginning and say week, and then get more specific as you go. Biggest risk in here is overbooking yourself. And I have a video called Do List Rollover that talks about just this, how like I said earlier, you got too much on Monday, so it slips to Tuesday. That Tuesday was already full, so now it's double full, and it can really, cascade and become a spiral that's hard to get out of. So if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. I'll link it in all the places. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.